Hello everyone, welcome back to another video today on my channel. So today I'm going to be covering a few oversights and unknown features in Garden Warfare 2. This will range from stuff seen in the beta, the alpha, and the full release versions of Garden Warfare 2. Hope you enjoy. So to begin with, I'm actually going to touch on something with breakfast brains. So this character was added in the Zombopolis update, and ever since he was added he's always been debated to be a good character or a bad character. The reason for this is because of how weak he was when he was first added to the game. He originally had 175 health and also had a speed upgrade added to his weapon by default. The speed upgrade remains to this day, however if you go into the game files you can find a default health upgrade found in the Super Brains folder, but it doesn't actually give any form of reduced health to Breakfast Brains anymore. Staying on topic with the Zombopolis update, if you look in the original version of the Aqua Center trailer, you can see that it had the Zombopolis title in the thumbnail instead of the Aqua Center update. Along with this, if you look at the start of the Aqua Center trailer, you can see that the Garden Center is actually still the Aqua Center with only the Garden Center being in the middle. You can see through the windows that it still has the Aqua stuff in there, so they initially just put every single other asset from Garden Center in there that was needed for the trailer and nothing more. One more thing regarding trailers is that if you look in the Zombopolis trailer, it's not very like a special thing here, but you can see that Toxic Citron actually applies his toxic buff to all the zombies in the final part of that trailer. Now moving to the plant side of things, there's actually two things that are wrong with the Plasma Pea in Garden Warfare 2. So as many people know, the Plasma Pea's model was actually drastically changed between Garden Warfare 1 and 2. This is speculated to be because they didn't want people confusing Plasma Pea for the Electro Pea. But these things were found by Lost Dirge and Ali Jax, where if you look at the foot for Plasma Pea, you can see that one of them isn't actually rigged. These are the ones that are underneath the leaves. I'll show a picture on screen now. Along with this, you can see if you look at Plasma Pea's head, that it doesn't actually look the same as his icon. However, if you put on a tattoo that doesn't really cover much of the head, you can see that there's still detail in his head that cannot be seen normally. Now we're going to move on to some alpha footage. So if you look in the first ever alpha gameplay that we saw for Garden Warfare 2, which showcased each of the new classes, you can actually see if you watch the regular Z-Mech, he has the Renegade flames coming out of the top. This indicates that Renegade Imp was actually in the game ever since 2015, which is something that not many people know about. Also, if you look in the E3 gameplay that we got for Garden Warfare 2, you can see that this was most likely made in the time when they were converting the art style from Garden Warfare 1 to Garden Warfare 2. This can be seen because of the little ability icons. There's also other footage of this game that actually shows the older icons that they made when they were showcasing stuff like the Backyard Battleground. But in the trailer you can also see that sound effects and other things like that, like the colours and the lighting, look very similar to Garden Warfare 1 as opposed to Garden Warfare 2, with a lot less orange being present in the lighting. Going on to more alpha footage for Garden Warfare 2, you can also see that stuff such as the kill feed was originally going to be in the Backyard Battleground, along with Citron having his old primary in alpha footage that was shown at Gamescom. Along with this, the Z-Mech used to have an old death animation that is no longer used in the game and was never added in a public build of Garden Warfare 2. So in an old video that was made about the Garden Warfare 2 beta, someone managed to get footage of the entire sticker book roster because there was a bug in the game that allowed you to view them. There's a few changes in the sticker book that are not present now. To begin with, Electro P didn't have any eyebrows on his render. This can actually still be seen in Garden Warfare 2 if you view the P shooter selection set in the private play menu. Along with this, Motorwexstar and Party Brains had their original masks that are no longer present unless you take off their hat. And the main one that I want to cover now is Partycorn. So in Garden Warfare 2 now and in the beta, he had a very broken icon. Within the beta you can see he has his tattoo but doesn't have a proper neck prop. Instead, a gem hat or gem neck prop is actually clipping through his normal one. This can still be seen in the main game, with it instead being put behind Partycorn and his tattoo being completely removed. It doesn't make much sense because if you look at his icon in the booth, he doesn't have either of these things present, so he's complete on that version. It's very strange and it's quite annoying that it's also still a thing in the game now. Another thing about the old icons as well is that the Super Brains didn't used to have pupils in their older icons. For some reason this remained until about 2018 or 2017 when it was finally fixed. Also in some alpha footage of Garden Warfare 2 you can see that Rose used to have a gravity grenade like weapon for Time Snare instead of the weapon she has now. These buffs can actually still be found in the game files for Garden Warfare 2. It originally worked as a dome which would slow down zombies inside of it, which is why if you look in the Garden Warfare 2 game files, a lot of the time snare files are called ensnared zone new as opposed to just being ensnared zone. This is because it's the second version of the weapon. Also, when Garden Warfare 2 originally released, there was no goal sounds or goal text on the screen if you scored a goal inside of the football field that's located outside of the plant base. Furthermore, when Garden Warfare 2 first came out, there was actually not any unique party HUD icons for any of the characters. Instead, they just shared the same icon as their original variant. These have actually been changed ever since the game came out, with now every character besides the pea shooter having an updated icon, with pea shooter remaining as the old one. However, they've made multiple changes to the party HUD icons in the time Garden Warfare 2 has been out. For starters, they didn't give the astronaut a party HUD icon of his own until late 2017. Along with this, the motocross stars received many changes to his icon too, with it zooming out and zooming in on his face multiple times. I'll show some screenshots on screen of this. So in Garden Warfare 2, PopCap actually changed the designs of a lot of characters, with a lot of them being the elemental characters. So if you look at stuff like Fireflower and Toxic P, they now have unique bodies, which in Garden Warfare 1 they didn't have. They shared the exact same body as the original Sunflower and original Pea Shooter. But the thing is, with the Fire Pea Shooter, is PopCap actually made their own unique body for Fire Pea, but forgot to actually give it to him in the game. If you look at the AI version of Fire Pea, you can see that he has that body, and it can also be seen in the Trouble in Zombopolis Part 1 trailer when the plants are coming out of the sewers, with Fire Pea having this old body. Now going on to more trailers, if you look at the Graveyard Variety Pack, and keep an eye on the foot soldier next to the computer scientist during the final moments of the trailer, you can see that in a sudden moment it swaps from being an original foot soldier to being a sky trooper. I don't know if this was intended or not, but either way it's a bit strange. Also, if you go over to Rooks in any version of Garden Warfare 2 where Rooks exists, you can see a rose hat on the shelf. This one's an infinity hat, however if you look into the game files and in general just own every item in the game, this hat does not exist. It is an infinite version of the Robo mask for Rose. I've honestly thought this was a thing for years until I had a look in the game files and saw it wasn't even a thing. It's really sad. So in the one weird trailer that PopCap made, which included Colonel Corn in a human form, there's actually a few things in this trailer that can't be seen anywhere else in the game. For starters, a scene from the original Garden Warfare 2 trailer can be seen, but instead in the backyard with Rose certifying tennis star. Along with this you can see Corn on the football field while it's raining. Rain in Garden Warfare 2 is not seen anywhere outside of mods. In the Frontline Fighters trailer for Garden Warfare 2, you can also see that Torchwood for a second is actually full size, and then afterwards shrinks down. This is because Garden Warfare 2 actually scales Torchwood down in any moment that he's shown. He's actually the exact same size as a Giga Torchwood or a Big Stump, but to make him smaller to fit in multiplayer, they scaled him down to 0.6. You'd normally return to full size as Torchwood when you're coming out of Dave's van during the intro sequence for Garden Ops. This could also be the reason why Torchwood turns into a small stump when he dies, because if you try and actually make a ragdoll for a character that is already been scaled, it will glitch around. This is only speculation, however. So for the final thing in this video, I'm actually going to cover the different statues you can place in the backyard battleground. Specifically 3 of them. The Engineer one, the Soldier one, and the Imp one. To start off with the Engineer one, you can see that Engineer's holding his drone controller that is in Garden Warfare 1 and early builds of Garden Warfare 2. Since Engineer doesn't have a drone in Garden Warfare 2, this detail is honestly quite strange. Next, the Imp. If you look at Imp's design on the statue, you can see it's very different to the playable character. This is because that's actually an earlier design of Imp, most likely designed in early versions of Garden Warfare 2, or possibly designed in Garden Warfare 1 if the theory is correct that Imp was actually going to be playable in Garden Warfare 1. Finally, there's the Foot Soldier one. If you look at the statue's helmet, you can see it's actually got goggles. In no version of Garden Warfare has the Foot Soldier had goggles, apart from promotional images and early footage of the game. This means this statue is the only way to get the original goggles for Foot Soldier on any version of him anymore. It's unknown why PopCap actually left the goggles on Foot Soldier, considering they decided to redesign him in Garden Warfare 2, but this could just be because PopCap liked to use the goggles in any form of promotional material or certain assets for Foot Soldier. For instance, the Garden Warfare 2 logo has a Foot Soldier with the goggles on it. But that's all for this video guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and let me know in the comments if you knew any of these things, because it'll be interesting to see if anyone else knew. That out of the way, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.